follow my channel long enough, then you probably remember my video where I built this Cannondale F-Si high mod, and at the time I said this is my dream hardtail. And you know what? It still is. It's been 2 years since I've made that first video about building this bike, and I still enjoy riding and just looking at this bike, but I thought it's just about time to make a bit of a refresh to it, make it a bit lighter, faster, and even better looking. So basically to make a dream bike even dreamier. And to do that, I have quite a few exciting upgrades that I'll show in this video. But before that, I wanted to talk a little bit about this bike and why I love it so much, and why even in 2024 I think this is one of the best hardtails on the market. In 2019, Cannondale released this limited edition F-Si frames in this retro paint job to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Cannondale Volvo team. You could only buy it as a frame set, but it was so expensive at £3,900. At least that felt very expensive at the time. It became a norm in recent years. But anyway, I waited almost 3 years to buy a used frame set on eBay, and in the meantime I even built a 1999 Cannondale F700 in exactly the same colors, and I have a video of this build on my channel. Now, years later, I still think F-Si is one of the best hardtails I've ever ridden, and the throwback edition is the most beautiful XC bike ever made. When these F-Si high mod frames were first released, these were the lightest mountain bike frames that Cannondale has ever made. But it's not just light. Having ridden it for several years, what really impressed me is how stiff and compliant this bike is. And while the geometry is not progressive by current standards, so the hand angle is 69 degrees and the reach is quite short, this is exactly what I need from a quick and agile XC hardtail. And in my view, longer slacker geometries fit better full suspension mountain bikes like my Scott Spark. Also wanted to mention that there are quite a few discount codes in the description to the video, and by using those codes you're not only getting a better price on some of the great bike brands, but you're also supporting my channel, so it's a win-win. However, the biggest reason why I love my Cannondale F-Si is the Lefty Ocho fork. This is probably the most iconic product that Cannondale has ever made, and its divisive looks caused the most number of questions and jokes on the trail than any other piece of gear that I've owned. Maybe actually this would be the second place. The first one would be, dude, you forgot your saddle, when I'm doing some jumps on my trials bike.
I believe I can fly.
At 1435 grams, this fork is around 100 grams heavier than the lightest offering from Forks and RockShox, but it has two main advantages over its competitors: its greater rigidity and lower stiction. This is thanks to the upside-down design of the fork, needle bearings, and super thick carbon crown of the fork. This all makes this fork super plush. Damn, this feels like I just did a sales pitch for Cannondale. But these were all the reasons why I decided to invest in this bike and make it even lighter, faster, better looking, better performing, rather than spending money on a new bike. Let's see how much this bike weighs right now. 8.43 kilograms. This is already very light for a hardtail mountain bike, but let's see how much lighter I can make it with all the upgrades that I have. Now, before we continue, a quick request from me. Can you do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, if not already? Your support means a lot. Thank you. There will be 4 main things that I will upgrade: wheels, brakes, handlebar, and shifters. I originally planned just to upgrade the wheels, but it escalated quickly. The main contributor to weight saving will be the wheels. I already have very light wheels on this build, they weigh just 1320 grams, but the new wheels that were built for me by Pete from Owen Wheels are just next level. These are the wheels.
They are, yes.
Some Planet X.
A bit better than Planet X.
Oh my god, look at that. How many times did you have to retension them?
Rear about 4, I think, and the front probably about 6.
Damn, 6 times.
Yeah, they take a bit more work, these folks.
A bit.
A bit more work, yeah, going back. And
I'm glad I gave it to you again and not did it myself.
Yeah, when they're up to tension and they're stress relieved and everything, they're strong. They feel amazing.
Everything about these wheels is quite special. They were built on the new light bicycle XC930 rims. They have 30mm internal width and they weigh incredible 270 grams. The hubs that I'll be using are Extralight Hyper Boost 3 for the rear and Hyper Lefty 3 for the front. And something that I didn't know but I was glad to find out is Extralight can custom anodize their hubs in one of the colors they offer on their website. And I think this blue color matches the frame really well. Finally, to make these wheels as light as possible while at the same time being approved for mountain biking and being super compliant, we'll be using bird spokes. Should we check the weight?
Let's
do it. 958 grams. Wow, unbelievable. Even lighter than my previous wheels you built. That's crazy, man. Thank you.
Super well.
Can't wait to try them. Like put it on the bike and see the difference.
They're good, strong, stiff rims as well, so they should ride really well.
Now back home, and I need to color those white spokes into yellow and finally install the wheels. Let's do it.
I'm doing.
You can see that. Let's do the second one.
Yeah. I finished.
You finished it. Well done, Daniel.
Yeah, I done
Give me a
it.
5.
Погломче.
Here we go.
Давай еще.
One more. Yeah.
Давай еще.
That's enough. To make the spokes look bright yellow, in addition to the paint that was sent to me by Bird, I actually used the acrylic paint. The next thing that I will upgrade will be the brakes. And I chose Trickstuff Piccola. Why? Because I used them on my Scott Spark for over a year now. They took me through Transalp, even with the 160mm rotors, they were great. And they're also the lightest brakes available on the market. I guess the only downside is the price. Ouch. And I'll be using silver levers with black calipers to add a bit of retro look to the bike, because I already have some silver components on it. And to achieve the best performance possible, I'll also swap the rotors to Trickstuff Ultralight model. That I will change on my bike will be the shifters, but not because I don't like what I currently have, and I actually have Zirbel WE01 shifters, but I will change them to Zirbel WE03 model, only because this model works better with the Trickstuff Piccola brakes. It's slightly slimmer, but overall I'm really happy with the Zirbel shifters. I have them on my Scott Spark bike as well. They also make your cockpit look super clean. One more thing that I'm planning to change on this bike is the handlebars. I'm going with the Bike Ahead Composites Wonderbar. I'm currently using Beyond Polka, which is a great handlebar, but it doesn't have these channels for the wires, and it means that the wires go under the grips and then inside the handlebar. This is not perfect, because if the grips rotate, this moves the wire and you can damage it, and also if the bike falls, it also can damage the wire. Whereas with the Bike Ahead Composites, the wires go in this channel inside the handlebar through this hole and then exit in the middle section of the handlebar into the stem, where the wires will be connected to SRAM blade box. What's also cool about this handlebar is that it has this rubberized middle section, so you don't need to use carbon paste with your stem. Another thing that I will change on the bike will be the pulley wheels on the rear derailleur, and I will install extra light oversized ultra pulley 14 and 60 tooth. The lightest pulleys on the market, and they also come with the ceramic bearings, which is great. The rest of the parts will stay the same. I'll be using the SRAM XX1 rear derailleur, Garbaruk 10-48 cassette, and Cannondale F-Si SL silver Polish crankset. And finally, I'll be using the Beyond Cycles seat post and Setka 3D printed saddle and Intent 90mm stem. Okay, let's finally build this bike. Wow, I can't even think what else I would want to change on this bike. It's perfect! Yeah, I always say that, until in 2 years' time I change half of the components on the bike. Let's check the weight. 7.97 kilograms, this is around 450 grams lighter than the starting point that was already very light. And while this bike is very light, it was never supposed to be an all-in weight weenie project like, for example, my gravel specialized Crux S-Works that weighs 5.6 kilograms. And on this bike, for example, I could have gone for Schwalbe Thunderbirds in the same size, and this would save around 270 grams and take the bike weight to 7.7. But I just like how Max's logos look on this bike with the yellow spokes and yellow graphics on the frame. And what's also great about this build is having Zirbel shifters on both sides of the handlebar allows me to switch to the reverb wireless dropper in seconds like this. You're good to go. Now it's time to take it for a ride. Wow, not only this bike looks cool, but it actually rides sensational. It's definitely not going anywhere from my collection. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to put a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video.